the trivia, the picks, the analysis, and more Tuesdays at noon Eastern Time.
We'll see you there.
Hello, welcome back to Inside Out. Coming up here right before the second round of action. There's so many cool people here at the field. We're trying to grab as many as we can. And right now we have Jenny Riedel from Toro here joining us. Jenny, thanks for coming by.
No problem.
Good to see that you're sunscreening. Very, very important here in the Southern California sun.
Protect the skin.
Yeah, this gets to a question we were just talking to Max Charles about. We were talking to him about the younger players on his team and whether or not, I asked him whether or not they were following his advice from an elder to a young person. And one of the big pieces of advice I got when I was in my early 20s on a club team was wear sunscreen. It seems like that's a lesson that you've been taking. Is there other advice that you give younger players on your team, and do they listen?
I mean, sun protection is really, really important. I feel like some of them listen, maybe half of them listen. The other thing is going to sleep or getting sleep, and I don't think they really listen. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of things that I can learn from the young players as well, so sun protection is key.
So one of the reasons we wanted to bring you here is not just because, like us, you're old, but because you have had like an amazing journey and an amazing career that has brought you to different cities, playing on different teams. You've had some great nationals runs. I believe you finished second twice, right?
With Riot, probably.
With Riot?
I think so,
And
yeah.
Were you on the Riot team?
Yes.
That team?
Yeah.
Okay, so you might be a great person to ask this question to then, which is
I
like,
don't know.
how much at this point in your career does winning a title like really matter to you? Because like with Toro, you're the second overall seed, or third. Third. You're a pool one seed, and like you have a very legit shot at winning a title. Like, how important is that to you at this point in your career?
I mean, I feel like it would be important for their entire team. I think it's something that, like, I think it's a team that has the capability to win. I think that would be really exciting. I think, like, individually, does it mean something more significant than in the past? And the answer is no, right? Like, I think it's like in every team, it would be really, really special for that team. Would it change how I feel about my career, whether or not we win or lose? No, it would be heartbreak for the team in general. And so, like, I would be sad for my team if we didn't win. I would be sad for my team if we didn't play the best that we could all year.
So there isn't anything like a possession or an acquaintance or a relative that you would trade for the title this year?
No.
I had to check.
I'm like not like an evil old witch, if that's what you're asking.
That is not what I'm asking.
Don't put up a Chiron that says evil old
control
witch.
to do
Do
that.
not put up an evil old witch Chiron here.
There are just people willing to do a lot to even get to that point and to get those final points. And so you always have to ask. It sounds like you have a much healthier mindset than a lot of people coming into this tournament.
I mean, maybe that's what age brings you, but like, I don't know. Maybe that's how a lot of people win titles. So I have to ask if like Fury has like blood magic going on or something. That's
Well, we have been using Sage very effectively thus far. We saged Molly Brown's upset over Scandal in the first
that's
round.
what happened. I was looking at that on the way in.
Yeah. Is there anything you would like to sage? Anything like you want to like shift the vibe on, or anything that you want to like try to manifest via the powerful art of sage?
Wow, this is going to be like the biggest like weird juju thing I'll say, but like a big part about sage cleaning is like getting the bad energy out and the bad demons out. So I think if I could do anything with that sage is like to take away any insecurity or like bad juju that we have on our team right now. Like individually, like so much of our team or so many players, it's about how much confidence they have on the field. And if there's a way that I could like erase all their bad feelings, I feel like we could do anything. So that's what I would do sage shooting.
That's lovely.
I think you are an old witch, but in a very positive connotation. Like
a happy-old witch.
Yeah. Oh, let's. Witch is a good term, I think, at this point. Like, I think, like, let's make sure we're getting clear on that. So you've been to nationals in a bunch of different locations or whatever at this point now, right? Like, how do you think the San Diego experience stacks up?
The San Diego experience, like, I think there's something so fun about consistency. Like, for the people that have been here before, we're all like, wow, like, we've been to this taco place, or we were talking about visualizing driving in on the dusty road, questioning whether or not they're using California's scarce water resources appropriately to like, water the road on the way in. And I feel like the consistency is the exciting part. Being able to, like, go to the sea, I feel like is this really cleansing, fun experience for any team. It kind of grounds you into this like, wow, like this is different. We're in this foreign place away from like North Carolina. That's really fun. So going to like a destination place, I think is exciting. I don't know. I think it becomes like Old Sarasota because it's a place that you go every year. And so it definitely feels like nationals when you get to repeat something over and over and over again. Yeah.
What does it feel like now? I think having been to so many nationals and seeing so many faces, I'm having the same experience, seeing so many different people. Like, what does that add to this experience beyond just your team? And is that distracting at all? You know, you want to be like all about your team, but you're seeing so many different faces you've seen for years.
This is going to sound weird, but like I'm of the age where I don't see as many faces, honestly. Like I think it happened like a couple of years ago where like a lot of the players I've played with for so long have long gone and retired. And a lot of like my old teammates were now coaching. And so like the people that I know most are kids that I've coached where I'm like, hey, I remember you from middle school. Or the people that are coaches. I think there was like one random party that I drove the kids to where I was like I walked into the like party, was in San Diego. I'm like, why am I here? I need to be responsible, drive people back. And then I hear someone like yelling my name from across the room. Like, there's no way that anyone's going to remember me. And it was like, oh yeah, it was just funny. It was like a coach of another team. It was a good time.
All right, we've got a round of games coming up, so let's do a quick pick beforehand. Jenny, since you're here, let's do mixed division. One of the big matchups coming out of Pool B, we've got Exist and Tower. Hold on, the interns are telling me something. Who's going first here? All right, I'm going first apparently. I picked Tower to make semis, so I'm going to pick them for the upset here. I'm going to take Tower.
Wow, New York local going against his home teams.
Oh my gosh.
I'm going with Exist here. I think they've got some really strong players. They've had a couple good seasons, and top seed. I think they're going to hold through this round. What about you, Jenny?
I'm also going with Exist. I think they have a really well-rounded team. Not like to knock Tower at all. I honestly haven't really seen Tower at all play, so I don't know.
You can talk trash. It's fine.
I mean, it's like, oh, I'm sure they're good.
The interns are going to be docked their meal for today for not getting the right logos up here. But we can barely see because of the glare. But I believe that is Pony and Truck Stop. So, yeah, sorry, no food for you, interns. Jenny, thanks so much for stopping by. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
No worries.
I have some more questions for you about your top physical therapy exercises. That's a question for me, but we can take that offline if we need to.
Yeah. All right, we've got second round action coming up here in San Diego. Stick around with the Inside Out and Field Pass streams all day here on Ultiworld. Thanks for stopping by.
I was like, I can't believe you asked about when the team was on the He was like, were you on the right? Yes. Next question. I was like, next. He did it. He took us in such a different direction. I was like, guys, let's sit and talk about like the history of sports here.
Get the ultimate news you need to know with the Deep Look podcast. I'm Charlie Eisenhood.
And I'm Keith Rayner, and together we bring the games, names, and moments in Ultimate to your podcast feed. We talk Ultimate's biggest news from on and off the field about and with the people making it.
And every week, we go live on YouTube. Come join the fun, the trivia, the picks, the analysis, and more Tuesdays at noon Eastern Time.
We'll see you there.
Welcome to Ultiworld's second round coverage of 2025 National Championships. This is Field Pass, bringing you all of the action from here down at field level in San Diego. I am Katie Killebrew, joined this round by Danny Proby, and we had such an amazing first round of action. Danny, talk to me about what you saw here today.
Okay, so I had the privilege of being on the showcase field commentating that game, and it was Molly Brown versus Scandal. We knew it was going to be a good game. We knew Molly was going to be a super scary 3 seed, and Scandal was leading most of the game, but Molly Brown, Manu had 3 flying layout blocks in that game, and they ended up winning on Universe. It was the Manu Valet Chastain show, showing that their World Games players really do have an impact.
Absolutely, and they were missing from U.S. Open. Some people had questions about Molly Brown, but the rankings really having an impact in the women's division. Here in the second round, however, we have a mixed game with Disco Club and Mile High Trash, and it's the first round in that pool. On our showcase field is going to be Tower taking on Exist, who also had some questions about rankings and how they got into this tournament.
That's just how mixed goes. You never really know. Every single tournament, it just change a little bit, like how you feel about these teams. They're very volatile. It's our favorite word, so we get to look at the mixed pools here.
And I think last round we saw that there was a lot of close games, but so far no big upsets in that first round. And in the other divisions, we had some close games. Sockeye was up on Revolver in that Pool A game, but Revolver came back, took it 15-13, and now on this Field Pass game, we're going to have Machine playing Sockeye in that Pool A kind of draw of madness. Machine was able to win their first game 15-10, but 10 against GOAT. That, I think, is not the strong showing that Machine wanted to have against GOAT.
Yeah, when you're playing against the 4 seed, you're hoping that you can get your bench in a little bit, that you can work on some systems, build some confidence, but GOAT is not a stranger to big moments. Like, we obviously have our own national tournaments in Canada, and GOAT won this year, so they're a strong team. They're a tough and gritty 4 seed.
Okay, and then in the women's division, we're going to have Schwa versus Parcha. Schwa had taken down Riot at Northwest Regionals, and Traffic is also going to be on the other field playing Bent. So a Pool A, a little Pool D, but lots of Canadian teams on the stream. I think that's probably part of the reason that you're here, right, Danny?
That and Canadian Candy is the only reason I'm here.
I mean, I do love some candy. You shared some with us at College Nationals, and I feel like I've been craving some kind of crispy treat, but I feel like if I really remember that it's going to haunt me forever.
It's coffee crisp. There's more. I hid the rest of them. They're in the closet at the Airbnb, but I'll bring them out tonight.
Okay, and here we go. First polls are up in this round of games. Mile High Trash starting on O. In the top right against Disco Club. Parcha looks like they are also starting on offense after that pull went way out of bounds. They're going to start at the brick mark. Change of color for Sockeye now in their darks, Machine in light. Bottom left. And Bent and Traffic, it looks like Bent is in the dark, so Traffic also changing jerseys from that previous round where we were able to get coverage of so many different games. Oh, Disco Club, Low Garin with the disc in the top right, just trying to orient ourselves. I feel like there's a lot of white versus dark jerseys, except for Schwa, who's in those blues in the top left. But a turn for Mile High Trash, giving Disco Club the disc in that mixed division game.
Now Bent starting their game off with a break, so Traffic had an error early on, and Bent was able to capitalize with a first point break. That's tough. Or exciting. And we have a little bowling celebration here by Parcha. I think it was definitely a strike.
Yeah, I think Annalise Peters with little cat ears on one of the marquee throwers for that Parcha team.
And Sockeye with a nice little dinky blade there.
I think that was Trent Dillon pointing.
Knows how to score goals.
Has in fact found the end zone a couple of times in his career.
Yes. All right, we've got some breaks happening already. We got Disco Club with a break of their own.
And we're just seeing a replay in the top left of the score for Parcha. And you can see, trying to find the end zone up line. Peters gets it past the bidding defender. It's like Aubrey Bishop with the defender. And then another look at this bowling celebration.
Looks like, I feel like most of the pins went down. Yeah, all the pins went down. Parcha always has bits. First it was the chair. Now it's bowling.
If you were with us in the first round of Field Pass, we talked a little bit about that kind of extraneous fun as Schwa pops one up over the top and Parcha gets another break opportunity within the first half of the field.
Now this game, I know it says it's the 5 seed versus the 10 seed, and Schwa wouldn't necessarily have come in as this high of a ranking, but they ended up winning their region over Riot with an emphatic win. So it kind of got ranked a little higher than they maybe initially. So even though it's a 5-10 difference in rankings, we knew this game was going to be a tight one.
Yeah, these are for the 2-3 spots, likely behind Fury in Pool A in the women's division. Don Desmarais notching a point for Machine in the bottom left.
Traffic looking to get on the board on your bottom right against Bent. They just came off of a pretty exciting win versus Riot that was on Field Pass. It's very exciting.
It was. We were able to cover some of that game. The Northwest teams, it was previously said, if you could win Northwest Regionals, you could win the national championship. But Bent having something to say about that as they get a D in the end zone. Didn't see who that was. But on some level, it feels like the way we've been talking about the women's division in this tournament is it's almost like the World versus Fury. It's maybe Fury's to lose.
Yes.
We haven't seen them on any of the streamed games so far, but it feels like an inevitability that we'll get there as Disco Club scores and a Parcha gets an end zone line D.
Disco Club with another break. Again, when you think the 8 versus the 17 seed, you should be unsurprised, but this is mixed. Anything can happen in the mixed division.
I will say, though, that having seen Disco Club play several games at U.S. Open, they are a team that when they turn it on and they're firing on all cylinders, the 7 players on the field feel unstoppable. Like the score is inevitable with the way that they move in that flow state.
Absolutely. Now, Machine here with a break opportunity for themselves. It's outside the red zone, or the end zone. And Schwa's on the board.
Yeah, Trout Waybright with the score for Schwa.
Trout is a very, very exciting player. I've had the pleasure and displeasure of coaching against Trout in college. Just absolutely explosive, exciting, and doing a good job making a name for themselves. Also in the women's division and club.
Machine hasn't put it in yet, but this is another look at the score. You can see the disc going up and over, trying to track it down, but Waybright read that all the way.
Yeah, 2-hand strong. We love that. Machine being very patient here. They know the importance of getting this break early on for momentum shifting.
Yeah, and really flat marks from Sakai.
Definitely see that more now. Oh, that was picked off. Nice throw into space. The early Selly. How do you feel about early Sellies?
I reserve my judgment on the early Selly until the disc has been caught.
It looks cool until it's not.
I feel it has the potential to look great and the potential to look extremely foolish.
Yes.
And so I feel like my heart is in my throat as I see, the wide hands, the clap catch incoming. Sometimes when you have that much time to think about a catch, it suddenly goes from inevitable to questionable.
I just wouldn't do it. I'd be too nervous of looking stupid, but that's all right.
I really wouldn't want to play defense again. No. I feel like I don't want to look stupid. I just don't want to run that hard.
Yeah. Now this point's lasting a long time here in your bent traffic game. That traffic turned it over again and bent with another opportunity right side of the end zone.
Schwa trying to shoot deep into the near end zone again, and a turn in this game as well. I'd say maybe a breath more of wind. What a grab from Disco Club in the top right. A bookends being signaled and a break for Disco Club. Mile High Trash yet to get on the board in that mixed division game.
Yeah, everything's going Disco Club's way. I mean, they're obviously a strong team, so it shouldn't necessarily be surprising that their dealings are able to generate breaks like this.
Schwa, I believe, with a break chance. Pick stopping action upfield, but able to get off of that line where they were trapped initially. Machine trying to work up here, elevate, and a score for Machine.
Like there wasn't a stare down, it was a little a glance. Gave a good glance after that, Sky. And Andrea Moyer scoring for traffic, getting the job done eventually for their O-line.
And Schwa gets another block. I saw a layout. Don't know if we got a hand on it. But this is another look in the bottom left at the Machine score. You can see the cut developing. Defense tries to make a play, and the box out. You can see the turn of the shoulder there to nullify the angle that the defender had.
Schwa looking to cook in their first break of the game here. And they are able to do that with 1/5 or 1/6 or 1/12 of the field.
In their previous two possessions, they tried to get the disc to the other side of the field, playing quote-unquote good ultimate, use the full width of the field, but that possession was literally upline, using maybe 3 feet within that sideline to just score. That's so frustrating as a defender, as a coach, when you're just like, stop the upline.
It's also frustrating when you work so hard on creating a beautiful, expansive offense, and then your team does actually score very effectively in 1/20th of the field. You're like, but it works. And you're right. And I actually like coaching both. I like having both in the arsenal, because if you are playing that kind of tight 1/10 of the field, all right, Mile High Trash able to get in their first point of the game. But if you are able to score with kind of that tight, as soon as you are able to break through and swing it all the way across, usually it becomes even easier to score in that moment.
Have to have many tools in the arsenal. Sakai elevating for a score and a hold. Looks like Howard with the score.
The conditions are pretty nice right now. I think at the beginning of the first round, there was basically no wind at all. And now there's definitely a gentle breeze. Throws are popping a bit more, but not as much as sometimes we do see at these fields. So right now we're kind of seeing a best case scenario in terms of conditions.
Yeah, Ella Jungst finding that front end zone cone.
The front cone specialist herself.
What a pull from Schwa. It landed, I think, inbounds and rolled out, so it's going to be right there on the end zone line. I think it's a question from the player about where it comes in, but that is the correct enactment of the rule, where if it rolls out the side behind the end zone, you get to walk it up to the front end zone cone, but you do have to take it on the list. What a find through the middle of that cup, straight across for Parcha. Tight defense from Sakai against Machina. Almost a collision in the upline space. Schwa, another chance at this break. They started in that zone defense in this point, and now they're working upfield in blue. Mile High Trash with the disc again. It must be a break chance for them because we just saw them score their first point. Almost a D for Disco Club. Mile High Trash has it. Aubrey Bishop with the kick spike and break for Schwa. There is so much action at this tournament. I feel like my brain can't even take it in.
As someone with ADHD, it is absolutely tickling me right now. So, yeah, Schwa 2 breaks in a row. You're feeling pretty pumped if you're a Schwa fan. Yeah.
And also, I feel like they are trying to make good on their result from the end of regionals. Because Riot was the top seed in the Northwest. They narrowly took down Traffic, and then they were beaten pretty soundly by Schwa, which is why Schwa has the higher seed at this tournament. Or not necessarily the higher seed, but
got a boost for sure.
A huge boost, and maybe a little bit of sense of insecurity from Riot that a team like Schwa could come in and do that. And Schwa says we can have big results like that. The question is, can they continue to capitalize on that momentum? And with 2 breaks in a row over Parcha.
Parcha's a good team too.
It's got to say something about where this mentality is as a team. And you said you've coached against a lot of those Oregon Fugue players in the college division, but they had such a tough loss to UBC this year particularly, that I feel like there's just a growing energy in that Oregon youth scene, honestly, on like a revenge mission of sorts, of a reformation of their defensive principles in order to compete at a different level, because like UBC has changed the shape of the game on some level with their defensive tactics. And I think it's interesting to see how that is going to trickle into the club program, with Schwa having a lot of Fugue players and Traffic having not very many, but they're from the same city, correct? So like maybe a ultimate ethos and training symbiotic relationship, and see how that plays out.
Yeah, in other news, Rhino started their game being down 3 to Sub. Sub is up 4-2 in that game right now. I think the rest of the scores around the complex look a little bit, like as you'd expect. Well, Revolver's up 4-0 on GOAT right now as well.
Floating, snatched out of the sky by Declan Miller. A call by Machine. Seeing players discussing that, but the throw was errant, and I'm seeing the jerseys move a little bit in the wind, not adjusting well, and that's what we would call maybe a quote-unquote hospital pass, where it's floating over defenders and players are jumping not necessarily straight up, but kind of into the space of others, that we're getting another one. You can see it, its disc goes up and comes back, and players react.
I didn't really see a foul there, to be honest.
I didn't even see contact between that player and another player.
That's right. Maybe it's hard to see, but maybe we're right. Who knows? I think that another interesting scoreline. Amp is up 4-1 over Dragon Thrust right now. It's a bit of an upset alert if you're into that kind of thing. Right now, Traffic logging a break against Ben, so a little bit of a shaky start for them, but they're back, feeling themselves. They're able to kind of get not only their hold and then a break right after.
Parcha working through the junk And Mile High Trash gets a point on Disco Club, keeping it within 2. Parcha going up line again, and it's a score. Annalise Peters with the assist. And Taylor Conroy with the score for Parcha. And looking again at the Mile High Trash score, just an around throw, end zone efficiency, using that break side really well. Maybe getting back into this game a little bit in terms of feeling themselves on the ground. This is also their first game of the tournament. The Pool B in the mixed division did not have any games in the first round.
Yeah, so oftentimes you'll see in teams' first games of nationals, there's some nerves. There's a lot of players among their teams that maybe haven't been to the big show before, and they take some time to settle down. And also, anything can happen in the mixed division. I think some people have the divisions that they like, and mixed is a division that I particularly like because I just like never knowing what's going to happen. So nice huck put up. Beautiful throw into space for Disco Club. Absolutely textbook forehand hook.
Yeah, and these two teams are from the same South Central region. In that tournament, Disco Club took down Mile High Trash 15-9. So Shame came out on the top of that South Central mixed tournament. Both Disco Club and Mile High Trash getting spots at nationals.
Block foul in our sockeye machine game. Looks like maybe a strip, miming a strip. I had my hand on it. I think that's what
not
saying.
Very many actual hand signals for calls, but the charades game that we are playing for the machine sockeye calls is interesting. Parcha now with a break opportunity going down, the score being away from the camera.
And Bent settled in and got the holds. That game is still on serve.
I feel like Bent and Traffic are going to feel each other out for the beginning of the game, but I feel like the end of this game is going to be very exciting because neither of these teams is willing to give up.
That is true. They both have a lot of fight in them. And the thing with Traffic and even the thing with Riot, why I think that game was so exciting, I think both of those teams have like this wonderful blend of super experience with a lot of youth. I know Traffic has like 7 or 8 first years on the team this year. So those types of players are really gritty.
And it was a turnover. Sockeye now with the disc and a chance to go up on Machine if they can convert this. We've seen them really attacking the deep space as they keep going wide, moving in that direction. And an emphatic D by Machine.
Also see a way right overthrow on an out pass, so giving Parcha the disc back.
Almost positive that was Sam McGuckin with the D. And now a timeout being called by Chicago.
Which is fair, just to settle the troops.
Unless I am mistaken, there are 2 per half at this tournament.
I would be surprised if anything other than that. At Worlds, we only had 1 per half, which was absolutely insane. But Parcha doing a really nice job of using the whole width of the field in their point. They're recognizing the importance of this to be able to get their first break of the game.
As I start leafing through my program booklet here at Nationals, it lists all the teams and their numbers, but also very often the specific rules for the tournament. See if I can find it. It's a wealth of information. All the previous winners,
the
trivia
Ultiworld
facts.
Bible.
Yeah, so if you're following along and you're trying to get some...
It's a pretty crazy block. Hopefully they're okay. There's obviously some contact, but just absolutely picked that disc out.
Didn't even look like the player was aware that the defender was there. It looked very clean to me. Is that Claudia Tajima with the disc? Yeah, Claudia Tajima with the block there, and I think it's Celeste Picconi with a little bit of a collision, but it looks like it's going to stay there with Tajima.
Now, in this traffic game, I want to note that Catherine Menzies has not been playing most of the season with traffic, but is looking to play some points here on offense, and you see that she's taking the field here. Great
to see them playing. Machine flirting with the back of their own end zone line as we get back into action against Sockeye. You can see how close they are to their own end zone as that orange cone comes into view.
Now, after those 3 breaks in a row in our mixed game here, it's been 6 points of holds. So that game is fully settled in, but I know Mile High Trash is going to want to start getting some breaks.
Another turn between Schwa and Parcha. Parcha now with the disc. Going back downwind. Machine. Bottom left. Unleashes one after so many reports. What a grab. Not in the end zone, but a travel called on the little hop. And it is Desmarais in the end zone again.
That's a pretty nasty sky.
I would have to go back and look, but I felt like Desmarais threw it and then followed the throw for the score.
You see that often. It's like as soon as you throw it, you get like a little power boost because you're like, that was a dot. And then all of a sudden you're running so much faster than everybody else.
And you have a step on your receiver. We're going to get another look at this. It was not Desmarais who threw it, but he was there for the other option and then follows the play.
Rutledge Smith, that was an absolute beautiful grab and very nice patience and travel and lefty. All of it.
Scary moments there for Machine, but it's tied up. Bent trying to tie up their game against Traffic. Ismail with the disc. And the turnover, maybe a foul call in between those two players. No contest signaled. And an injury, Ismail taking one. I was going to say, it was great to see Samia Ismail on the field, but because she's had so many injuries this season, but as I had that thought, even, commentators thinking, Chris, I suppose.
You made a little bit of a...
Made it go the other direction.
Manifested.
Yeah, Jungst coming in for Bent, taking possession here. Schwa and Parcha are tied 3-all. Mile High Trash scores 1, inches back within 2 of Disco Club. And Machine has the disc. It must be a break opportunity because we saw them score in this end zone. They aren't holding it for very long. It looks like Giannis with the disc finding on the far side. Big collision from the Sockeye player. Goes up, but out of control in that player. You can see the immediate apology, hand and no contest on that call. Jungst scores for Bent. 4-4. What a layout to save possession from Machine. Gets it to the other side of the field, and a layout block from Sockeye.
What an incredible block. Absolutely super important.
Daniel Chen with that.
Yeah, Daniel Chen, he's a pretty good defender.
Hunting down the lane for the handlers, giving Sockeye a chance here up over the top. Like glue in Miller's hand. Sockeye flips it up and over the top, and it is a score for Sockeye. Johnny Malks in the end zone.
I love the shape of that throw. Sockeye has definitely had a pretty good season. Obviously some losses here and there. They lost to Rhino pretty big at the beginning of the season. They lost to them at regionals as well. But only other losses would be to Revolver and Chain. The rest of the time they're playing quite well. They had a Universe win to be able to make it here versus Shrimp, and they took care of Furious George before that. So they've had a strong season, and I know a lot of people had a lot of hope that they'd make it far into this tournament.
And that was a hold for Sockeye. Disco Club scores, puts them within 1 point of half. Schwa scores a clean offensive possession against Parcha's zone poach scheme defense. Traffic and Bent still at 4s. Traffic having to swing the disc a lot against this flat mark of Bent. Almost that backhand force. Really trying to narrow the reset lanes. But that big lane to the end zone opens up.
For Katie Wong.
Traffic holds. It took them a lot of throws, but that was really clean offensive possession for Traffic. Machine on offense with the disc in their hand, bottom left. It looks like a timeout being taken in that mixed game as we get close to the end of the first half. Disc going up. Desmarais with the reception. I feel like watching the momentum of this game, Machine looks like they have no options. They're holding the disc for a long time. They're struggling in their reset space. There aren't clear lanes. And then suddenly, out of nowhere, after 3 or 4 subpar throws, there's Don Desmarais getting a score in the end zone.
Yeah, elevating out of nowhere. Yeah, Sockeye's pressure has been really high this whole game so far, but you know, you can only get lucky so long, and that defensive pressure will build over a game. We had just had a really beautiful sky in our Schwa Parcha game, but it looks like there's a call, so it might not count.
Looks like a potential travel being called. Or a contest of some kind.
Yeah, Schwa has had a pretty good season so far. They only lost to Flipside by 1, and their other loss was to Fury, and then they ended up losing to Parcha earlier this year, but they took care of business at regionals, so they're peaking at the right time.
And now Bent on offense, trying to have a clean possession of their own against Traffic. Floating over the pack. It's a D for Parcha. Getting the disc back. Trying to go long. Ambitious, but out of bounds.
Yeah, not quite the right edge. We do have a little bit more wind, as we said. It is going that way, so even a little bit too much float, the disc is going to carry out that side.
Okay, Disco Club on the end zone line, trying to punch it in for half, and they do. Wiley with the break and the halftime respite. Maybe they'll have a dance party.
Yeah, that's
Austin Disco Club
usually helps keep your team in it. Sometimes if you go into half 8-4, you can let the foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and that can hurt you in the second half, but I don't expect Disco Club to do that.
Sockeye score. Schwa also, I believe, a score.
Yeah, they were able to get their hold as well. So that game is 4 holds straight after a couple early breaks by Schwa. We're going to head over to watch Dig versus Bravo for a little bit. This game quite tight. Bravo up on the number 2 seed Dig. Maybe a little bit of a surprise, but we're blessed to be able to have our moving cameras here with Ultiworld to be able to bring us to whatever games the people want to see. Well, the people want to see and also we want to see, obviously. But this one is going to be a good one.
And Dig and Bravo, this is both their first game of the day in Pool B. Dig, the 2 seed overall in the tournament, and Bravo, the 10 seed, so a 3 seed in this pool. I said seed a lot, so that might be a little bit confusing if you aren't deeply obsessed with looking at USA Ultimate and Score Reporter and all of the Ultiworld graphics about where this tournament is going. But 6-6 in the first half between those two teams. Sockeye, or I guess Machine now with on offense trying to tie it up once again in this very tight matchup. Bent held, but Traffic now stops that break attempt and is back on offense. Let's see what direction we're scoring.
Definitely a execution error by Traffic, giving Bent the biscuit back to be able to get another break.
Yeah, and that throw for Johnny Bravo was too far. I believe maybe Quinn Feiner, the intended receiver, and now Dig is going to be able to pick up and go the other direction. We didn't start with this game, so I don't know if we're on serve or who started on offense, but we'll have to get back to that. Machine scores.
Some great matchups here on Field Pass so far. I love seeing tie games. I love universe games. It's my absolute favorite. So right now we have 3 really great games on your screen. And there's just great games all around the complex. If you're in the area, come stop by. Come check it out.
And this was another score for Rutledge Smith. You can see the defender tried to pull off and get that, but sees the defender coming, rises up and gets it. Close game in Pool A in the men's division.
Right now, Fury is up 6-0 on Nightlock, which is tough. Brute Squad's up by 2 over Sixers, so Sixers keeping that close. Flipside up only 1 over Iris at the moment. And then we have Seattle Riot over 8-1 over Grit.
Okay, and then it was hard to see, but Bent, I believe, broke Traffic to score in that far end zone to take the first real lead of this game. Parcha trying. The Schwa Parcha game has had a lot of terms, but Parcha just hasn't been able to convert in the end zone. There's a lot of defensive pressure from Schwa.
Yeah, the game's definitely slower, a lot more calls, a lot more discussion, so we're seeing that in the scoreline. We have Revolver's up 8-2 on Goat. Sub-Zero still leading Rhino 7-5. And Ring is up on RDU, Raleigh Durham United 7-4.
And you can see that ticker going at the bottom of your screen to give you updates all around the field complex. And yet another stoppage in that Schwa Parcha game. It's really tight defense on the handlers that is slowing Parcha's offensive possession so intensely.
I've played against Schwa quite a bit, and I do remember the games do end up feeling a little bit slow because the conversations do last a little bit longer. So it doesn't surprise me that there's a lot of calls and there's a lot of discussions. It looks respectful. Looks like everybody's doing what they need to be doing to resolve them quickly.
Yeah, and Bent in dark bottom right has the disc in their hands again. A break opportunity with them to go up by 2. Sockeye scoring bottom left. And it looks like Johnny Bravo on defense. They are up by 1. So Dig trying to hold and tie it for 7s. A turn for Parcha. Another break opportunity for Schwa, top left.
Really nice offensive flow by Schwa. I really like how much they were using the width there, but just kind of getting stuck in that, not able to get a continuation off, but we're probably going to get a nice huck, and we did, and that's going to hang, so it's going to be a nice little sky battle.
Great defensive positioning. It looks like, I think that's Celeste Picconi. Might be Picone. There's a Pignoni and a Picone, and sometimes with all of these names and all of these teams, we're covering so many. I apologize for any mispronunciations as we get enthusiastic about highlighting the players here at Nationals. Traffic got the disc back. Now trying to go to the end zone. And it's a flip for a score. 6s.
Definitely the necessary hold if you're a Traffic fan. After you get broken, you just really need your O-line or whatever line's out there to go out and just like settle the whole team down. Nice IO shot by Schwa. They're on the doorstep as well.
Machine with the disc. Sockeye up by 1. They are trying to hold to bring it within 7s.
We're calling it a goal, so that should be a break for Schwa.
6-3.
They're up 6-3.
And a timeout taken in the other women's division game between Bent and Traffic. So a closer look, Demarais with the disc for Machine, but a lot of stagnation upfield trying to find that inside lane. Demarais guarded by Dylan.
Nice little force middle to kind of clog things up.
There's not a lot of options upfield, but Danny, would you like to see tighter defense on the handler resets?
Yeah, I think they're definitely sagging off into the lanes to try to stop the cutting happening downfield, but I don't necessarily like that strategy as much closer to the end zone.
I think it didn't behoove them once they ran out of space.
Behoove. So fancy.
Kyle Rutledge with the score for Machine, tied at 7s. Disco Club and Mile High Trash are back in action in the second half in that mixed division game.
And do you say Galaxy Point? Are you one of the commentators that says Galaxy Point?
I say it mostly to reference it. But
well, we got Galaxy Point here.
We do, in fact. Means that the next point takes half.
It's the little sibling to Universe Point, which is double game point.
Or, yes, Universe Point. But half is at 8 points. Mile High Trash holds out of half. It's like Austin Gould with the score. Parcha digging out that possession. They're close to the end zone. And it's Annalise Peters with the score and hold for Parcha. It feels a little bit like this game is getting away from them, but it's hard to get momentum in this game. It keeps stopping and pausing so often that I feel like the emotional kind of resonance that you would want in a game where it builds and builds and builds just isn't happening, at least from our view.
Yeah, it's tough when you're the team that's trailing, as you said, to try to get that momentum, to try to build anything, especially a team like Parcha that is a big energy team. To not be able to get the opportunity to be in flow can be really hard for them.
A little bit of a collision in the end zone between Bent and Traffic, helping the players up, but it looks like there is no call. Disc landed far from where that collision occurred, so maybe ruled uncatchable. And Traffic has the disc. Disco Club, it looks like scores, but maybe that was pull out of bound. I got too excited about more scoring.
There's a lot going on, Katie.
There is. But in the bottom left, the pull for Machine lands out of bounds. Sockeye on offense, and that disc is going to get centered. Johnny Malks picking up. Schwa was in action and a little travel called, and now they are back on offense.
Mile High Trash implementing a zone against Disco Club, and Disco Club just electing to just pop little scoopers over the top. seems like they're having no problems with it. They're not advancing necessarily, but they're not at risk of having a turnover.
And a turnover happens in the Sockeye game. Machine picks up Bansfield, puts it deep, and one throw, score, and break. Thought about spiking, respectfully putting it down.
Took every ounce of their being to just chill.
I think it's William Wettengel with the score there for Machine, and the break to take half. Very close games in Pool A in the men's division.
Machine will be coming out on offense in the second half as well. So that point was very, very important, very momentum shifting for a Machine. The Traffic with a big huck and nice reception there. They're in the red zone.
Yeah, very close game here. This is also going to decide Pool D.
So Traffic with a break back, an immediate break back of Bent to get that game back on serve.
Ina Cartagena a little slow to get up after that defensive effort.
Right now, Disco Club notching another point against Mile High Trash. 9-4 feeling, would you say that's insurmountable? Does it feel insurmountable?
Just looking out and looking at the body language of the players on the field, I feel like Disco Club looks so loose. Right? If they let up off the gas and Mile High Trash is consistent, I think that it's not, but a 4-point lead. We're basically halfway through the round, right? 90 minutes till soft cap, so we're inching in on that halfway point at 45 minutes. Certainly a significantly more and more difficult hill to climb the longer they let this lead go, but as they put that disc up into space, perfectly weighted against the wind.
You almost think there's a call, so solo, but no, that was just a beautiful throw. And these two teams have actually met twice this season so far, so Disco Club besting Mile High Trash at their regional championship 15-9, but the first time they played, it was actually Mile High Trash beating them 14-8. So the most recent game went Disco Club's way, so that might be playing into their minds as well a little bit. Sometimes you feel like, oh, well, this team always beats us, but these teams are actually 1-1.
Parcha scoring. It looks like Mackenzie Priest with the score for, I was going to say Parcha. Parking chair is where that name comes from.
Of course.
Almost
big block.
Sitting down almost
big
for
score,
the score was, I was going to say, we have to be on the lookout for Callahan's. I didn't see the beginning of that because I was watching one of the other screens. But if it is a Callahan, that means on Inside Out they will have another hot pepper to eat.
Muy caliente on the broadcast here.
Yes.
Okay, so I have a bone to pick with the Ultimate World. Like, I have some biases. I'm Canadian. I played for Traffic.
Yes.
The love of my life, not actually, but like I'm obsessed with Sarah Norton, and I don't think she gets the love from Ultiworld that I think she deserves. She's always in like the top 15 of scoring, top 10, sometimes even every single club nationals, and basically people don't know who she is. She was a World Games alternate this year, and like nobody knows her. She never gets written about, but she just had that incredible sky, and like she's all over the scoreboard all the time. So that's my piece. I'm gonna bring my Canadian-isms. I'm gonna put them back away again.
And I would say I would also be guilty of not knowing until this moment exactly who Sarah Norton was, but that was an excellent sky, and that was a Traffic break to take half over Bent, which would be a very big upset in, I believe it's Pool D in the women's division.
Absolutely hot start for Traffic. If they were able to win this game, that would be them taking down the number 1 and the number 2 seed in their pool with just grit left to go. This would be one of the best starts, if not the best start in recent history for Traffic. So not going to jinx it, especially for all the Bent fans out there. And I also love Bent as well. I love how they play. I just love good games.
Yeah, traffic is up, and so is Seattle Riot, the other game in this Pool D action. They are up 9-2 over Grit.
Tough.
After, but a good bounce back for them after having lost to traffic just one round ago.
Definitely a statement game when you lose a game that you feel like maybe you should win. Even if it's another game that you should win, it's a good statement thing to have to do.
The Sub-Zero and Rhino Slam game is now on your screen. They're coming out of half. Rhino Slam in white, trailing to Sub-Zero at the moment.
But coming back, because they were down by more, and they have the disc obviously now, so they are chipping away at their breaks slowly. Obviously, they should win this game. I had them picked to win the whole darn thing, so hopefully they can get it together.
Yeah, this is also Pool D action in the men's division. Great grab there from Rhino Slam. Bringing it back within one, a break. Trying to notch their way back. Rhino, previous round beat Raleigh-Durham United, RDU. Sub-Zero lost to Ring of Fire. But both games, the scoreline, I guess it's now 8-7, but 8-6 with Ring of Fire up over RDU. 8-6 as well.
You know, Amp was leading Dragon earlier, but Dragon has gotten a couple breaks late in their game, and their game is tied at 7s now.
All right. Looks like Parcha going to come in with the disc. Maybe a little bit of a collision.
This game is still in the first half.
Thrower. Yeah, I was going to say, this game, obviously half is at 8, but it would have gotten half capped, right? Which is that halfway point time-wise, as opposed to the score, which we keep points-wise.
Mile High Trash staying in it, staying within 3. They need to start chipping away at some breaks here to be able to get back into this game.
This goes up for Parcha. Out.
And that wind. It's an impact. Even if it's a small impact, there's still an impact. Especially if you lift and give that edge of that disc up into the sky, it will sail. So got to make sure that even though it wasn't happening in the first round, they got to keep those discs down.
And it looks like this is going to come back on a foul call.
What a surprise.
Domenica Sutherland there, the thrower, gesturing about the throw and the effect the mark had on it. It looks like a no contest from Brennan. Players catching up behind the disc. And Machine and Sakai are about to come back from halftime. Machine in light, and they are going to start on defense. Sakai with the chance to hold.
Disco Club on the doorstep, punching in their hold. Parcha with the execution error on that reset, giving Schwa the opportunity to take half here, finally.
Great underhand grab from Schwa as they try to make their way through this. It's giving and going. I almost would want them to have hit that.
Yeah.
But a little bit more patient.
Another push pass. People love that push pass to that front cone. And I mean, I get it. You don't have time to regrip. And sometimes catching a forehand comes out too spicy and people drop them.
But Magnet and Waybright are college teammates as well, I believe, playing in the youth division together.
Sure.
So that's clearly a chemistry connection, knowing that it's going to happen. And as a mark, you don't necessarily expect that release point to happen unless you have deeply studied or been beat by that before. And they catch it looking a little bit. Mile High Trash floating it on the other field a little bit further. On the doorstep, bidding, but it is a score for the Coloradans. Machine putting up another one in this end zone and off the fingertips. Almost felt like a gimme, but the wind took it a little bit. The defensive pressure, and Sockeye gets another chance at it. That would have been a big break for Machine to start the second half.
Speaking of big breaks, that was Mile High Trash's first break of that game, so they are within 2, keeping their hopes alive in this game.
Big layout block on the mark.
It's demoralizing. Oh my gosh.
Raymond Liu. What a defensive effort. I am electrified by that right now. We're going to see what happens in this point. Can Machine get a break against Sockeye? Machine more highly rated. Some say the second best team at the tournament, not having the results in the regular season to merit that 2 seed, but on the doorstep of a break here against Sockeye, and it is a score for Chicago.
A dirty hold. So incredible layout block. You're going to be feeling a little hyped up after that one.
Well, if you're as hyped as we are, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a short break, but the conclusion of the second round at Club Nationals coming up.
Get the ultimate news you need to know with the Deep Look podcast. I'm Charlie Eisenhood.
And I'm Keith Rayner. And together we bring the games, names, and moments in Ultimate to your podcast feed. We talk Ultimate's biggest news from on and off the field about and with the people making it.
And every week we go live on YouTube. Come join the fun, the trivia, the picks, the analysis, and more Tuesdays at noon Eastern Time.
We'll see you there.
Come here, come a little closer. Don't be afraid, no, I don't wanna hurt you. A little more, come in, let me just show you. Don't know, can't talk, let me just show you. Don't be obsessive, it could be intensive, it could be explosive, it could be offensive. Don't be defensive, don't be aggressive, it will be a race course, it could be expensive. Don't be obsessive, it could be intensive, it could be explosive, it could be offensive. Don't be defensive, don't be...
Hey yo, the rain was steady pouring, heard the drops and drizzle meant to be. Chilling in my crib, no doubt, being scenery. Telephone rang, then it stopped before I could answer it. I heard it knock at the door, so I answered it. And with Jermaine, he had a little situation. Beef up on the block and orthodox to let the confrontation. He said these cats be acting hard on the block.
Ultiworld's coverage of the 2025 USA Ultimate National Championships is presented by Breakmark, celebrating their 20th anniversary. Visit them at breakmark.com.
Field pass by Ultiworld. More action in this second round. Machine scores, Sockeye holds, Mile High Trash breaks to bring it within 1 of Disco Club. Disco Club has led by as many as 4. Schwa and Parcha are about to come back in after the second half. Traffic notches another break, taking a 3-point lead over Bent now. Exciting stuff.
Very exciting.
As Machine scores there and takes their one break advantage over Sockeye. I felt like you asked earlier if this game felt, the Disco Club and Mile High Trash game felt inevitable, if it was unwinnable. And I think if Mile High Trash can get a break here, if they can stop this end zone line stand, if they can get to it, but a foul or a timeout there called by Wiley.
Yeah, Mile High Trash able to get 3 points in a row. Mixed is a awesome division for momentum specifically. You do see a lot more runs and ebbs and flows in these games, and right now Mile High Trash is riding high.
And it also seems like it was a timeout call, right? And they're talking about where the count will come in, because to me that count felt very high.
Stall 12, stall 13. It did feel very high.
And I wonder if there was maybe a contact call or something else that we didn't see that elongated it. But interesting to see. We'll have to keep an eye on that as it comes back. Sockeye trying to hold in the bottom left. Big throw going up. Angles trying to be read. 2 defenders in pursuit. What a great catch and flip. That was Sockey's Elijah Diamond with the reception, and then giving it to Howard, who really expertly followed the play.
Yes. So often you'll see those hucks or those big plays be mere feet maybe, I should say, or yards out of the end zone. So being able to follow up those plays, you can get a lot of goals that way. So Bent was able to get a hold here, but traffic is back on offense.
And coming out of the timeout, top right.
How many seconds do you think they have? 2. Couldn't be more than
unless he called foul and they resolved it, and then immediately then it would be 0. But otherwise, it has to be over 6.
Yeah,
it has to be over 6. Parcha scores. Dominica Southern or
pulling. They keep tricking us.
Well, no, but they did score, and now there's a pull. Or unless that's the first point out of half. I thought it was 8-4. Was it 8-5?
It was 8-5. They're pulling some Houdini stuff on us. All right, traffic gave the disc back to Bent, so they're looking to try to get one of those breaks back.
And another call in the mixed division game. It looks like they dumped immediately as part of the play, but it's hard to...
So Bent did end up getting their break. So this game is now back within 1.
And it's going to go back to Wiley. Whatever happened, the disc is reset. Bent back within 1. Machine finds the end zone. And a clean hold for them. Bontem with the score.
Great games here on Show Pass here, Field Pass. Absolutely big play so far. This is only the second round of Club Nationals. We have so much Ultimate to happen. There's already been so many upsets. There's been more upsets in this women's division than I'm used to.
In the women's division, for sure, I think we expected a lot more upsets in that first round of mixed division play. But we'll see what happens on the Showcase field. Tower is still playing against Exist.
Yeah, Exist is up 12-8 in that game. So on the doorstep. They haven't closed it out, but they're on the doorstep.
Schwa finding holes in Parcha's defense. Another look at this Rhino Slam Sub-Zero game. Sub-Zero still up. I believe the 4 seed in that pool. Up and over the top. And a score for A score for Schwa. A D for Traffic. Too quick on that turn and release.
Yeah, they see Moyer going deep, and then they just have to put it. But that's overcooked 2 shots to her so far in this point.
And there's a foul call in the bottom left. The Sockeye player was almost sandwiched between 2 Machine defenders, but the Machine defender looked genuinely shocked at a foul call on that play.
We have observers, and bless them out here, helping us navigate and keep the game moving.
Much so. Big implications in this Rhino Slam Sub-Zero game.
Nice defensive pressure there by Traffic. I did like that flow there by Bent, but too much of an edge on that throw led for it to be a turnover. So Traffic getting their 3rd opportunity to get this hold.
Again, every pool is 4 teams. All of the teams play each other. Their relative results will re-rank those pools. The pools then cross over, B and C and A and D play each other in pre-quarters. So the results of each pool, if there's as some would say, a circle of suck, right? A loss or a win over each team's, Rhino Slam can't hold that, and a short field for Sub-Zero.
Yeah, Rhino Slam definitely looks quite tight right now. They don't look like they're playing their system. They don't look like they're playing it with flow or confidence. And a lot of questions have been made about this team because they weren't sure how they were going to play because they were missing their players for World Games. They had kind of a speckled season. But a lot of people are like, well, they know how to win. They obviously have done it before. Those guys know how to slip into a system, no problems. But right now, Sub-Zero is taking advantage of maybe a little bit of some chemistry issues by Rhino Slam.
Yeah, they're up by 2. Rhino won their first game by 6 over RDU, and Ring of Fire is currently leading RDU by 2 as well. So this would put Ring of Fire at the top of the pool.
Well, Bent
with Rhino and Ring of Fire still to play at the end. Sorry.
Bent got another break. If you were watching that bottom half of the screen, if you were not watching, you should go back and watch it. So they got 2 breaks in a row. So they've scored 3-1 in the second half to bring that game tied.
Machine with the disc again. This would be a further break over Sockeye. Disc going up into the back of the end zone. 2 players in pursuit, and the D. What a block from Sockeye. Parker Howard getting up and giving Sockeye another chance at this offensive hold.
Well, Schwa ends up with a break again in their game, doubling Parcha's score now 10-5.
Getting another look over at that. We're trying to get a replay of what happened and what stopped.
See the Schwa score again.
Right, but what it stopped play in this Machine and Sockeye game, it's difficult as we get another look at this going up and over the top. Something must have happened in the backfield because the call is not with those players. It was further back, but it looks like Malks is going to bring that disc in. Mile High Trash scores, staying within 2 of Disco Club, and it is all tied up between Bent and Traffic in the bottom right. Traffic very close to another score.
Yeah, they definitely need to stop the bleeding here. Oh, that was bad timing.
But
all right.
The defensive pressure is increasing from Bent, and they get a chance to go the other direction, quickly moving off of the line. They have players in isolation, trying to get deep space, up and over the top, eaten up. Not enough on that disc, and Traffic has 70 to go.
Sarah Norton, know thy name. Oh, sorry. I did that again. I'm cursing them right now. So the wind definitely impacting these throws. You need some snap. You need a little bit of I.O. So these kind of more bladey throws are not completing well going that side.
It's also interesting because there are flags on the ground to delineate the player lines. And I'm seeing the flags on the ground start to move.
Yep.
So it's a low wind. It's not just affecting the throws that are high up in the air. It's all of those reset throws. And if you aren't adjusting and thinking about that wind, it can take you and catch you by surprise in those short field throws, especially with tight defense like we're seeing of the caliber of teams at Nationals.
Yeah, speaking of tight defense, Bent, that's 4 points straight for them in the second half. So they've gotten 3 breaks. 3 breaks. Right now,
miscue from Disco Club. Mile High Trash. A chance. Too far. You hate to see it as a coach.
You do hate to see that. Sub up. 12-9 on Rhino Slam. This is like a upset alert if you got the cowbells going.
Rafi Hayes gets the D for Rhino Slam. Finding a hole in the middle. Going the other direction. Maybe Sealand with the catch. Hard to read the numbers as we go. Sorry, Max Gade there with the huck reception and then the score for Rhino Slam. Ooh, 10-12 has got to feel a lot better than 13-9 would have.
Yeah, I always say that it's like that 1 point, being able to punch it in makes such a big difference. Just like 2 points is, you could do 2 points. 4 points at late in the game, it does feel insurmountable. We're seeing 12-10 or 10-12, 12-10, 12-10 on our score. So we are nearing the end of these games. It's still anyone's game. I do feel like Mile High Trash has a lot of momentum in their corner.
But still a lot of time, right? We are seeing just over 20 minutes until we hit that soft cap, which affects the point total that we're playing to. So it feels like a lot of these games are moving at a pretty good clip.
Seeing a zone look here from Mile High Trash, wanting to slow down Disco Club, force them to make lots of passes, especially now that things are a little bit swirlier. Disco Club having no problem kind of swinging across the way, getting out of it. You hear the fire calls. You don't know what that means. That means like to stop doing that defense, to go back to person. The Traffic really need to answer with a hold to keep themselves with some momentum. Right now it seems like everything's going all Bent's way.
Traffic was up by 2 in this game.
Yes. Momentum is a fickle, fickle beast.
Sub-Zero on offense, top left, but a turnover from Traffic, giving Bent the disc. Sub-Zero, top left, still has possession. It's like a timeout from Machine bottom left with a break opportunity over Sockeye.
Bent on the doorstep of getting another break here. Yeah, Traffic obviously came out hot against Riot, but another break against Traffic. But Traffic hasn't had the same season that a lot of these top club teams have had, because they had to focus more on the Canadian Series because of our qualifying event. They weren't able to play any of the TCT events at all, and so they haven't been super tested against these top teams, and maybe that experience is showing right now.
When you say qualify, Danny, what do you mean qualify for what?
World Ultimate Club Championship. So every country gets a certain amount of bids, and so your national event, this is a qualifying event, your national event will determine how many bids you get to World Club Championships. And in Canada we had 2 in the women's division, and Sixers and Iris ended up qualifying in that division, and then the US has 3.
US has 3.
Yeah.
So there are going to be third place games that sometimes we don't stream, but this year we are, because they are going to be the qualification event.
Matter.
And World Ultimate Club Championships are happening in Ireland next year, I believe in August. And I think that a lot of teams, before previous World was it when in Ohio, and at least for U.S. teams, that doesn't seem as an exciting venue as Ireland does. So there's certainly something to be playing for. Wanting to get into that semifinals berth has a little extra shine on it.
Yeah, Ireland is incredible. They had World Masters Ultimate Club Championships there.
You and I both played at that tournament.
The weather was a little crispy, a little windy, a little rainy, a little cold, but I know Liam Grant, tournament organizer and Ultiworld commentator, WIFDIF commentator, is doing the sun dance still as we speak to try to make sure that the weather's a bit better.
Yes, if you've heard him talking about a throw that was a buttery biscuit, as he would say.
It's iconic.
It is iconic. And so I'm excited to see World Clubs. It's such a special atmosphere, and that's what a lot of these teams have as a secondary focus. But today, especially in pool play, it's all about getting it done. And Sockeye, bottom left, gets it done. A hold. Chen with the score.
Yeah, Mile High Trash was able to get another break. So they got a couple. Disco Club got a break. Mile High Trash got a break. They're within one, but there's a turn.
And another break opportunity for Mile High Trash. It would be for the tie, and it is! Mile High Trash, the 17 seed, taking it.
I love mixed ultimate. They were down by 4. I was like, do you start phoning it in? Do you start putting in your bench to do you keep trying to build momentum for the next game? But this is the mixed division, folks. Anything can happen. You just got to believe. And Bent certainly believes. They are now 5 points straight against Traffic. They're having quite the second half right now.
And this is still the same point top left for Rhino Slam and Sub-Zero. There's discussion about this D, which Rafi Hayes got, but it has been a lot, and it looks like an injury away from the disc is what stopped play. But going back and forth, because Rhino Slam down by 3. They are the 1 seed in that pool. Looks like Disco Club took a timeout. And another break for Bent, up by 3.
The wheels have officially come off of Traffic.
On Traffic.
They're jammed up. They're stuck in Traffic. Bent is just cruising through right now. 6-1 scoring in the second half.
And Machine notches another one close to the final score. Again, as a reminder, these games are played to a point total of 15. You're trying to get to 15 before the other team does, and then we'll talk about that whole timing stuff, Kev, thing when we get there.
Yes, if we get there. Right now, I'm just like all eyes on this mixed game. Tied at 12. Mile High Trash having quite the second half. They were down 8-5. Everyone says the most dangerous lead. But most of the time it's a joke, but I've been in games where I've been up 8-5 and I've lost, especially when the team that's down 5 starts on offense, because then they get 6. The team that goes into the half leading usually kind of lets the foot off the gas pedal a little bit, and then you can kind of creep in there.
I remember you asking me, Danny, if I thought that game was over, and I said if they went up by 1.
They heard me. They want to shut me up.
Obviously, everyone can hear you. You have such an effect on these games by everything that you're
very powerful.
Saying. But it's about notching those points back, right? Not trying to get them all at once.
Chipping away.
Chip away at it. Play consistent. Make strategic decisions. Pay attention to the elements as this is like the wind changing. Right? Learn your matchups and that kind of like team mentality. And also having played this team twice before probably gives you a little bit more on that like knowledge edge piece of it. Rhino Slam, top left, finally scored that, keeping it within 2. Sub-Zero on offense, trying to get to 14. And behind the receiver, Rhino Slam has a chance at a break going the other direction. It would cut their deficit in half. Bottom left, Sockeye, big throw and reception outside of the end zone. Dishes it back. The rest of the players make their way towards that end zone. Sockeye really needs this one up and over the top, and they get it.
It's a nice shot. I really like that throw, that blade to that back corner. People always expect the front cutter to be the one doing all the things. Sometimes you can kind of sneak away from your defender when they're caught disc watching.
I was like, I think that's at least the third time we've seen Parker Howard in the end zone for Sockeye. Rhino Slam, it looks like, does get that break over Sub-Zero, back within one. Don't call it a comeback, Danny.
I picked Rhino to win the whole thing, so I'm definitely cheering for them. But as a sports fan and as a storyteller, I really love upsets. And right now, Mile High Trash, if you were not watching, you should be watching. They got another break. They are now leading for the first time in that game. They've scored 4 straight to lead Disco Club. All the momentum is in their corner.
Can they finish the deal? Because that's what they're going to need to do, and it's got to be such rough flashbacks for Disco Club. Last year they came into Nationals the 2 seed and really fizzled out in pool play, and again today they were up in this game, but that kind of
they were up big
disco fun energy when they lose it, where you can see the whole body language of the team change in that second half. They don't seem to be having a way to get it back. We're going to see what happens in this game. They're only down by 1.
Yeah, they need their mojo. I know only down by 1, but when it comes at when it happens like that, it can feel like way more than 1. It can feel frustrating. Maybe players on your team are getting mad at each other, or things you just don't trust your throws as much. When you're not loose, you don't play well. So right now, Disco Club really needs to punch us in to stay mentally checked in.
And a turn. Mile High Trash has it again. A little bit of a miscue and a bobble close to the end zone. You can see them there by that brick mark. Only 20 yards to go.
These 4 seeds, I tell you, they're going crazy in this round.
Trying to find system. Not a lot happening upfield. Creating space. You can feel the energy pulsing off of that field.
Yeah, we can hear it.
Giving and going. Trust up the line. Sliding to make the catch. Dagger.
What a crazy catch. Oh my God.
Mile High Trash breaks 14-12.
That was a crazy catch.
Are within 1. A break on the other side for Rhino, tying it. Sub-Zero led.
What is happening?
As many as 3. This is what we play for. This is what we watch Nationals for, why we have all of the hype, because why we are so committed to bringing you Field Pass. It's because this level of play, you would be missing it unless you were here. So thank you so much for being a subscriber and joining us. Thank you if you're on the YouTube live stream. It is amazing to have you. If you haven't considered being a subscriber to Ultiworld, this is why you join. I am filled right now. This is filling my cup in such a big way. Okay.
Yeah, I have
these games are not over. They're not
catch was
over
crazy.
yet.
That catch was crazy.
Was crazy.
Are we watching? Are we going to see this catch again? We will be seeing it again. Was that even the intended receiver?
Top right, I don't think so. You're going to see this go up line, sliding catch, fakes to the other side, and daggers right to the middle. Too far, maybe for the other receiver, but just
amazing.
The lightning reflex to get that, and Machine takes it over Sockeye. 15-12 in the bottom left.
Traffic with their second break opportunity in this point. They really need to capitalize on this to keep themselves in this game. Are you okay?
I'm watching this Mile High Trash in front of me, and they're playing this zone again, forcing Disco Club to throw after throw after throw. And I feel nervous for them. But maybe I don't feel as nervous about Traffic, because Traffic just got a break. They're back within 1. Schwa and Parcha in the top left continue to plod on in this game. It hasn't been pretty, but Schwa has been continuing to notch little bit of breaks at a time to get this 5-point lead.
Yeah, in this bent Traffic game, when you see a 12-11 scoreline, you don't think that there's been 6 breaks in the second half. That's crazy.
Especially because we saw the beginning of this game and it was so close, you wouldn't think that it had such momentum swings. And a turnover in the top right. Disco Club intended receiver can't get it in bounds, and Mile High Trash brings it in, taking out the pylon to set that first pivot.
Really got to take care of the disc here because they are on the doorstep of being able to win this game, which would be one of the best comebacks. Huge huck. And, there's definitely going to be something. Nope, no call there. All right.
Again, leading into the end zone. Ambitious, but too far.
Oh, you're going to want that one back. Oh, that's tough. That is so tough.
Oh, we'll see if they'll set this zone again. Disco Club was working through it. Defenders are a little bit more tired now and maybe disappointed because that was it. That was the game.
Yes.
If they caught that.
They got to take another breath. I always tell my athletes, just take one more breath than you think. Make sure of it, especially in these moments where your excitement.
I will take your advice too, Danny. I also need to breathe.
We need to get excited here. That was a crazy 1 minute that we just had there. I'm still up from it. I'm still mile high from it.
Okay. Just too far for Waybright. Parcha gets the disc back, trying to make a comeback or at least keep it close in the event that there's a three-way tie and point diff matters. Traffic, bottom right, picking their matchup after that timeout, trying to make their things. We are 6 minutes away from soft cap, so that will affect probably some of these games in terms of what we're playing to. Mostly the bent traffic game. Back in action, Rhino Slam with the disc. It would be a fourth break in a row. They were down 13-10 to Sub-Zero. And now they have a chance to go up by 1.
They definitely have players on that Rhino Slam team that know how to win. Right now, the zone is giving Disco Club a lot of trouble. They're stuck on the sideline for a long time, but they finally break through the middle.
Now Carly Garrett in the middle providing an outlet for Disco Club. You can see her finding her way through those roving defenders. Almost a D from Mile High Trash. But it's Carly Garrett in the end zone all the way up the field. A golden opportunity from Mile High Trash squandered, and life for Disco Club. It is a score for Rhino Slam in the bottom left.
This is their first lead.
They were down. This is maybe their first lead of the entire game. The 1 seed in their pool, Rhino Slam, finally coming back against Sub-Zero, who couldn't handle that lead that they had. You can see the energy depletion for Sub-Zero as they slowly make their way back to the line.
Knowing that they had that lead that whole time and feeling like they squandered it, but they have not yet. They've got chances.
Okay, speaking of chances, Mile High Trash is now on offense to start this point. Disco Club has to get a block in order to stay alive in this pool, and they have the line to do it. I see Joel Clutton out there. I say Lo Guerin. I see Joey Wiley. I believe Maddie Cannon, Alexi Zolk. Mile High Trash, all they have to do is keep possession.
They got 2 opportunities on offense to win this game.
Oh, but knowing you were up and you had it, right? That's what we're talking about, the Sub-Zero game. Knowing that you had it, knowing that you were up while you're in the middle of essentially losing it. It's such a hard mental place to focus to find the win.
Yeah, the mental battle of being up 4 and then now losing, to be able to try to find it within your team to go break to try to win this game is tough.
Mile High Trash resorting to resets. A little bit of chaos in the middle of the field for them.
The flow is a little bit stagnated right now. They're needing a bit of an outlet, and they get one.
Really patient work here.
Mark is quite close, causing a lot of issues.
Finds it giving and going in the backfield. You can see almost like a blob upfield, but really intense defense from Disco Club. Alicia Dixon now with the disc on the sideline. Sub-Zero on the other screen on offense.
Mile High Trash is inches away from one of the best comebacks I've been able to see.
Do they have the poise? A call?
Push off. I say a push off in the reset space, which is probably valid.
A call also being discussed between Rhino Slam and Sub-Zero, but I see the disc in the hand of a Rhino Slam player, so I'm assuming that it's a contested defensive play. Miles Armstrong, the defender for Disco Club there, but Mile High Trash retains possession. Sub-Zero retaining possession. Bent has the disc and turns it over, giving Traffic a chance. And
oh my gosh.
Mile High Trash goes all the way. It's Abby Thorpe with the score. What a comeback.
That's
what
crazy.
A game.
That's crazy.
We
That's
knew
crazy.
that the mixed division was going to give us volatility, and it has delivered.
The fact that they went from being down by 4 to winning this game by 2 is absolute pandemonium. That's absolutely crazy. The 17 seed, the 4 seed in this pool, taking down the 2 seed, it's insane. Disco Club was fully in control of that game. They looked like the better team for most of that game. And Mile High Trash, I cannot give them enough credit for not giving up.
I think a lot of teams had kind of written off Mile High Trash, but man, Pool B with Exist and Tower, whose game on the showcase field concluded with Exist winning 15-10. There are still 2 rounds of play in this pool that have to happen. Rhino Slam scores the
what
spike.
What the hell is happening?
The win? Question mark? The win? Exclamation point for Rhino Slam. They were down and they take 5 points in a row. Sub-Zero was up 13-10. They take 5 in a row to come back.
All 3 of these games are comeback season. All 3 of these games had a team that was in control that is now either has lost or is losing, because Bent was able to get another break back off of Traffic. So that score line, Bent has scored 8 times in this half and Traffic has only scored thrice.
I would also wonder, what kind of tactical change? Was it tactical change that they made? Was it just an emotional change that they had? But impactful change for this Bent team over Traffic, who has been playing okay, but just doesn't have answers. They're making mistakes, or they're being forced into mistakes.
Into the ground and stuff like that. They look a little bit gassed, and I think that there is high potential for a 3-way tie, so it is important that Traffic keeps fighting in this game, because there is a very real world in which Riot could take down Bent, and Traffic only beat Riot by 2, and so point differential really matters. They need to get these holds.
So you may have thought that you time traveled, but it was in fact the same point that Parcha finally scored to bring it to 9, and it is soft cap, which means that game is 2-14. So all Schwa has to do is score 1 more point, and they have won that. Big marks from Bent. But Traffic finds an outlet to the center of the field, thinking about that inside angle. Whitehead. Miscue.
To throw a little bit behind Zhang there. Kind of a late season pickup. This would be a very big win for Bent if they're able to complete this comeback, especially with a 4-point lead. If they were able to get that, that would really help them with point differential.
And Bent, the higher seed in this tournament, but they were down by 2 at half. We're getting another game right now. Truck Stop and Red Tide are tied at 12s.
Let's go Red Tide. I feel like this is something that people wanted to see, didn't expect to see, but wanted to see. They're the people's team, I think, this tournament. Shout out to all of our wonderful camera people out there who's just hustling to get to the games, hustling to do the drones, to bring us all this action.
This is Pool B in the men's division. We saw a little bit of the Dig Johnny Bravo game earlier, and Johnny Bravo has had an upset. They took down Dig 15-13, and maybe more upsets abound in this first round of Pool B action. Red Tide tied with Truck Stop. I was trying to think of a pun and a word joke, but I couldn't come up with it quickly enough. Turnover for Bent, gives the disc back. Red Tide can't bring that one, or gets the D. Apologies, and a chance to go the other direction. Back in their own end zone. I guess we would say Callahan country, as you can see that white front end zone line ahead of them, as the defensive pressure from Truck Stop is very intense, almost out the back of their own end zone. Floating it, staying in bounds, but maybe an injury.
It was a big bid to keep those legs in bound. Oh, yep, getting helped up. They're going to keep in the game. No worries. I think when adrenaline is high, you don't feel injuries.
For positive or negative, I think I have to agree with you. Traffic punches that one in. Still alive, but game to 15. Bent needs one more score. Red Tide gets the disc off the line as we come back into play. Finding that inside angle. A little bit more breathing room now that they're outside of their own end zone. Going kind of back and forth. You can see hitting that inside flick angle as they work up the field. A drop for Red Tide. Almost it looks like a stumble, like their leg came out from underneath them a little bit. I thought I was going to have a chance to breathe, Danny, but that is not.
No, they just keep sending the cameras over.
That is not what Field Pass is about. It is about the action. We are really glad to bring it to you. Timeout in the women's division game. We'll go back to that when they resume play. This is going to be Truck Stop with the disc.
I feel like normally we say the men's division and the women's division is a bit more chalky and there's always chaos and mixed, but I feel like we're seeing chaos in all divisions at this point.
I am here for the chaos. I am here for the upsets. I am here for the teams that show up on Thursday of Nationals for these pool play games that really matter. We're only in the second round of games. There are more things. Okay, score update. It is 13-12. We missed a score coming into this game, but we are really excited to bring you action. It is almost an injury as that goes out of bounds, and Red Tide floating it. Trying to retain possession.
Stack quite disjointed from the handlers at this point, but I assume they're looking to run some Dom in this set right now. Recognizing the importance of the moment as well.
Yeah, Dom being Dominator, where the three handlers work together and the cutter is pushed further upfield to create space. And that's kind of what you can see happening. Bent and Traffic back in action. Bent starting on offense. They need to hold. And it looks like Red Tide scores in the front of that end zone quickly on that shot and tying it at 13.
These 4 seeds are popping off this round. I don't understand what's happening. The 4 seeds, this is the round of the 4 seeds.
Cartagena with the disc. A pick upfield is stopping motion for Bent. Traffic needs a block. if Traffic had been able to win this game, they would have been for sure through. But if they lose and other things play out, depending on point diff, and if they lose to Grit, right, which is the 3 seed and the 4 seed in this pool,
judging from the scores, I feel like them losing to Grit would be a crazy upset. But I think the more realistic thing is that Riot beats Bent, and then we have a 3-way tie
at the top.
Yeah. Otherwise, Bent will be taking it, and then Traffic will be taking second. It's like an injury, an emphatic injury.
Yeah.
Sucks when that happens. You feel like a hamstring, or you feel something kind of just give away a little bit, or a little pop, and you just want to be careful. But
yeah, or potentially also got her foot stepped on.
Yeah,
which
getting
also
cleated
hurts.
Can suck. Can suck for sure.
Yeah, my toenails have definitely abandoned me after some of those plays.
Yeah, you got to leave some things behind, including toenails at Nationals.
It is true.
So a miscue, overthrow, giving Traffic the opportunity to get a break to bring this game 1 point closer. Again, even if they can't close it out, it matters.
Okay, Truck Stop on offense, working their way down the field.
Big hop put up by Brianne Wager, but it is intercepted by Bent. They got 70 to go. Just trading hucks here. It's the other team.
It's a lot of energy expended in this game so far.
Just such a big difference in Nationals so far this year is that there's no gimme games for most teams. Like, there are some gimme games that are happening, but for the most part, you think these, wow, huge catch there. Absolutely crazy catch. That might be, that is Terry Whitehead. Terry Whitehead has been to maybe more club nationals than any other Canadian player. Has been on World Games a couple times, bunch of Team Canadas, is like 40-something years old. The ageless wonder that is Terry Whitehead.
But you can see how impactful the awareness that Whitehead brings is in the end zone, in between defenders, still going up, clean, making sure of the score in what has not been a for-sure game. As we're seeing Truck Stop, I feel like it's not even inched because they're kind of seesawing back and forward all the way up the field.
Yeah, Red Tide is playing like they've got nothing to lose. Their defensive pressure is really tight here. They're playing with a lot of confidence.
But they don't have anything
to
lose. There is only glory to be gained.
They're just happy to be here.
Only stories to be told, but also proving like how they made it here. They are a team that can play with the top level of this talent. I mean, sometimes it was a surprise to see them, but as Truck Stop takes it 14-13, that might be game because we are in soft cap. It must, yeah, that's game. Final. Confirmed.
Wow, that is a narrow skirt by if you're a Truck Stop fan. They barely evaded Red Tide, which is the number 4 seed in their pool. Red Tide must be feeling, well, maybe frustrated, but also they should feel very proud of that game.
Okay, and it is game point for Bent as well. This will be a game to 15. Traffic, again, that was a break for their lives in that previous point where we were talking about Terry Whitehead. Bent swinging. Ismail back out on the field. Dishes. And Youngst at the front of the end zone. Defender is going down. Unsure if there was a call or just a cramp.
It looks like a cramp, but Youngst scoring to win on the front cone is a very iconic and retro even maneuver. So Bent winning this game by 2. So Traffic finishing potentially in a 3-way tie. We don't know. We got to find out what's going on with a 0 plus-minus.
What a round, Danny. I feel wrung out, and that is the shot of what we're talking about. Look at all of these games. This is a look at the pool standings after 2 rounds of play in the men's division.
Yeah, we had some close upsets. We've had some actual upsets right now, and yeah, Rhino Slam being able to finish out that game, that's gutsy. So Sub-Zero, shout out to you. That was a great game. Also, really nice seeing that Red Tide was able to play tight like that against the number 2 seed in their pool. Like, literally anything can happen here.
And in the mixed division, Hybrid remains 2-0. Shame taking care of business in Pool D.
Yeah, the Dragon Thrust Amp game specifically, I know that Amp was up 6-3 and ended up losing 15-8. So Dragon was like, you know what, we're here to play. Don't worry, we're the number 2 seed, and they held on. So congratulations to them for getting out there right now. We do see our number 1 seed still at the top, but things have been spicy.
Very spicy. 2 more rounds to go, but here in the women's division, seeing where the pools ended up, that Riot 1-1. More to see, but we're going to take a little break for myself, but we are going to Inside Out, where they're going to talk about all of the action that happened. Patrick, take it away.
Hello, welcome to the Inside Out desk here as things are heating up on the field and in the atmosphere at in San Diego here at Nationals. Wow, another crazy round. Round 2 always a little weird, I feel like, at Nationals, because the first time the wind starts coming in, but it really delivered.
Yeah, the round started, and I was watching a couple games, and I was like, does this feel chalky? I'm already seeing some, deltas building between teams, and no, it turned out to be quite an exciting round yet again. We're very lucky to be here. And heating up in more ways than one, not just the weather. We have 2 reported Callahans from this last round, one of which was a game winner in the Flipside game, which is just a tough break, pun intended, for the 2 of us.
Game-winning Callahan, and then apparently one earlier in Dragon. So let's do one now and one later.
I think that's a good deal.
All right, I'm just blindly reaching at this point.
That's just the most dangerous thing you could do.
All right, you think about it?
That sounds great.
All right.
Give us the first words that come to your mind as that hits your palate.
A little fruity. Oh, actually hot. This one's actually hot. It's a habanero.
I have fear. I have fear in my heart.
Okay. Let's start. Where should we start? There's so many different places. I think I want to start. I want to start with Truck and Red Tide.
Yeah, absolutely.
Universe Point game. Red Tide, first time qualifying since the 90s. Coming out here, teams that come to Nationals for the first time. For most of these people, they always have trouble adjusting. Not so for Red Tide. They take Truck Stop, who won the title 2 years ago, all the way to the wire. And we actually, I think we have, Ruben, get in here. We have Ultiworld reporter who was live on the scene who can tell us everything that went down in that game. Alex, come here. Just give us a little bit of hello, welcome. This is Alex Rubin, Ultiworld reporter.
How's it going, everyone? It's great to be here.
So walk us through a little bit of that Truck Stop Red Tide game, which I think we saw just the final few points of on the Field Pass stream.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, Red Tide hung around, but Truck kind of gave it to them. Truck went up early. There was 6-2, 6-3, something like that. They were putting out their depthy D lines, and Portland just didn't really go away. I think what impressed me the most, their D-line offense, very possession-based, but Truck's O-line looked really slow when they were playing defense. Looked like they couldn't play. They're just giving up 10-yard unders on the open side. And they were able to put together a possession at the end that won them the game. Right? They won 14-13. And I don't think a single pass traveled more than 8 yards on that last possession. That was pretty testy. But losing Rowan 2 years ago and then Johnny this year was kind of how their possession-based offense started. And when they replace those with Sean Mott and Aiden Downey and they start taking shots and start getting a little windy, they're going to have to step up their defensive game if they want to succeed the way they used to.
Yeah. So are we selling on Truck?
I don't think we need to sell on Truck. I mean, look, they held it together in the end, and I feel like they're the kind of team that will step up and play right in the moment. But I think this is a big learning point for them, and also for Red Tide. They can hang. Truck's not a bad team, and good for them for showing up in their first time here in the 21st century.
So maybe not selling, but like a 25% discount just right now. Test the waters.
Yeah, I mean, if you're stopping for something at a roadside truck stop, you expect it to be cheap.
All right.
That's excellent analysis. Couldn't do better than that. That's beautiful.
All right, get out of here. Go do your walk. All right, thank you, Alex. All right, we've got so much else to talk about from that round. I think we'll let the interns dictate just by throwing whatever clips they have ready up, and we'll just kind of talk over it. Like you said, it seemed a little chalky to start, maybe, kind of like, oh, okay, teams like went up to a big league. Like, I think Exist seemingly like kind of took care of business throughout the course of that tower game. But some other like real feisty stuff. We saw Traffic come up to a lead on Bent before Bent was able to claw its way back. And I believe Mile High Trash pulled off the upset. Is that right?
Yeah. A really, really exciting game right up until the very end for this team. We see here the score.
That's Mile High Trash, the 4 seed in their pool, taking down pool 2 seed Austin Disco Club. Disco Club, kind of a hipster pick to maybe make semis, make the finals. I think I might have picked them to semis. And we see here, look at that celebration. And, that's Colorado, Texas. That's rivalry. That's heritage right there.
Yeah, they do not mess around in the South Central between Colorado and Texas. There is just always some beef going on, and what an exciting upset to get so early in the tournament already.
It's hype. All right, now we're gonna throw to a couple clips from the Red Tide Truck game, talking about that as we saw this action all happening on Field Pass. Red Tide, like Northeast team, came in out of the mix. There was a lot of, there's 2 good teams at the top, and then a lot of depth in the Northeast. Did anyone come out like a threat to actually win games at Nationals? I think they showed here that they can really put some games together, and if they win their last game in pool play, maybe they get into the bracket.
I didn't even know they played Ultimate in Maine. I just didn't even know that was one of our states.
What are the things you know about Maine?
They've got the other Portland, the inferior Portland, and inferior Lobster, and that's about it.
Portland, Maine, and Portland, Oregon, both represented here. I don't know if this is maybe the first time there's ever been 2 cities with the same name, but it's not the same city that are both in Nationals.
I know. It feels like one of those weird baseball stats that like seems important, but it's so specific, it's like actually meaningless. But we can dig into it.
And it's very exciting for Red Tide to have been in this position, coming out of nowhere, challenging Truck. But final scoreboard does say Truck 14, Red Tide 13. Really nice lefty scoober there to break open the defense and lead to that final goal.
And it's challenging sometimes in pool play when you are that lower seeded team. You throw everything at a high seed. You feel like you're so close, and then you don't quite get it, and you still have more Ultimate to play. There's like a lot more Ultimate to play.
Also in the welcome to Nationals. All credit. Another big near upset result here, which was Rhino having to come back to hold off Sub-Zero, and then we've got Machine and Sakai, which was a fiery game, and we see the gentleman's almost spike there from Machine. That was a nice act of de-escalation, because I was watching that game in the first half, and there was a lot of chirping, a lot of physicality. Sakai was in that game and just didn't quite have the firepower at the end to keep it all the way with Machine there.
Just like. No, you love to see almost more than the creative spike, is you can just see the entire like evolution of human emotion of like spike it, don't spike it, leave it be, just walk away.
Yeah. I'm being the interns in my ear saying that you're cued to do something now.
Yeah, so we've got some pretty fun games here. We like to have fun, and we've got a game for you, Pat.
Okay.
I've been long retired. I'm out of the game, but you haven't been. And so we're going to test some of your knowledge right now on the screen ahead of us, and you are going to try to guess the team for each of these players and what team do they play for once that comes up on the screen.
Okay, I can barely see the screen because of how bright it is out here.
I like that you're hedging your bets immediately.
I'm just establishing a factual predicate before we get into this.
All right. Well, we're waiting for some graphics here. I mean, we could eat our second pep before you have to go into this game.
I think that's right. I think that's the good.
All right, another blind attempt.
Oh, this looks gnarly.
That looks like garbage. Oh, wait, we've got the game up, so you're spared for just a moment. All right. This is Alex Atkins. Who does Alex Atkins play for?
I can't tell if this one's really hot or totally fine. It's one or the other. Alex Atkins plays for Pac-Man.
And the screen says you are correct.
Okay,
all right.
This
We
is
got 1
easy.
point.
I'm
1
not going
point.
to get any of these wrong.
All right, we've got our next one coming up here.
This one just tastes bad. It's like
I'm afraid.
like a cleaning product.
Who does Jessie Schaffner play for?
She plays for Molly Brown, who upset Scandal earlier today, despite Schaffner airmailing four-side flick. No shade, though. You got the win.
I can tell you that is correct. As the pepper comes in, who does Cody Spicer play for? Cody Spicer.
Well, it's appropriately timed because the sweat's really starting to build up in my temples. Yeah, obviously he used to play for Bravo. I don't know if he's like old man pulled back onto Bravo's roster or if he's like playing mixed somewhere right now. I'm going to guess Mile High Trash.
That is the answer. Oh, it is Bravo.
Pull back onto Bravo, okay.
Not quite retired into mixed yet. All right, Riley Kirkman Davis. Who does Kirkman Davis play for?
I'm not convinced this is a real person. I think this is someone like West Coast Ultiworld people have been talking about this guy for like 7 years. I've never seen him ever actually exist in the world. I think that he is AI generated. So yeah, he doesn't play for a real team.
All right, Pat going for the bold. No answer. Mile High Trash. Wow. That's a tough one. All right, Margot Sterrett. Who does she play for? Who do they play for?
California was like SoCal at points. Boy. You know, I'm a pundit now and less of like a journalist, so I feel like it's actually less important for me to be knowledgeable than it used to be.
You're certainly vamping like a pundit.
Yeah. Say flip side.
Pundit. Fury. Wow. Margot's on Fury.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Got a couple more of these for you. Let's see if you can crawl out of that hole. Lexi Zock.
Austin Disco Club.
Nice work, considering we have drafted her on our fantasy team. Hope they're doing great. All right. Carl Wurzel.
Oh, I mean, I know he played on Chain the past couple of years, but again, this is another one where it's like, did they retire into mixed or not?
You were wrong on the last one.
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say still Chain.
Huntsville Space Force. Oh, and it went the other way. That's tough. All right, Hazel Ostrowski.
Okay, played for Tufts in college.
What does your heart say?
Well, I don't know if she is like a from the Northeast, stay there Tufts, or is like rich as hell person from like Seattle who decided to like be Lady Bird and move to the East Coast. So my heart says slow.
And the answer is Austin Sprocket.
Of course,
that's so
she's
tough.
younger. I should have.
All right, Connor McHale.
Connor McHale, British, used to play for Machine, doesn't anymore. Plays for GOAT currently, I believe.
All right, Connor McHale is on GOAT.
Okay.
Nice work. All right, you're coming back out. Ryan Dussert.
Ryan Dussert, young player from Carleton. Again, it's that eternal question: Seattle or Minnesota for club?
A lot of Carleton out east now as well. You're pulling them out there. They're everywhere.
I believe he's on Sub-Zero.
All right, Ryan Dussert, Sub-Zero. You are correct.
Almost beat Rhino in this past round. We can talk a little bit more about that after.
All right, I believe this is our last one. Brandon Van Dusen.
Younger brother, I think, maybe, of Sam Van Dusen. It'd be crazy if there were multiple Van Dusens in like Frisbee where they were unrelated.
We have two Portlands. We can do anything.
They might not be related. I don't know. It might be a different spelling too. Actually, you know what? You know what's something that's even more embarrassing than me not knowing some of these players? When I first came up, like learning the lore of the sport, like starting to like learn things, I thought that Sandy Jorgensen and Kayla Jorgensen were sisters or cousins or something. It was like, how could there possibly be two dominant Jorgensens in this sport that are unrelated? And I had this whole headcanon built up around them being sisters.
Like rival sisters who've gone to different places.
Right.
Never wanted to see each other. Looked completely different.
I believe Brandon Van Dusen plays for Condors.
Answer is Chain Lightning. Oh, all right. I think that was like, I'm gonna guess like 2 for 20, 3 for 20. Not bad.
Yeah, something like 3 for 20. I think that sounds
Yeah.
about right. I blame the pepper.
we can blame the pepper for you here.
Yeah.
It's a nice scapegoat here.
All right, well, sorry you all had to see that. But hey, at least my credibility is less in question than Edwards. All right, we're going to throw it to break here. Stick around. We'll be back with more Inside Out.
Still hanging?
How's your cut getting pepper in there?
Ultiworld's coverage of the 2025 USA Ultimate National Championships is presented by Breakmark, celebrating their 20th anniversary. Visit them at breakmark.com.
You asked for more, and we delivered.